stars, welcome or welcome back. My name is Aster. If you're new here, I'm a reader and a writer. Most of my content revolves around writing because I am trying to be published this year. If you saw last week's video, that was me getting ready for the querying process. And I'm gonna do that. It's gonna take a while, so I'll do that quietly on my own and then update you guys whenever I have an update for that. So I've gone back to another project. This is Project Princess. I have worked on it in this channel before, actually like a couple weeks ago before I started reworking on my debut novel. This novel is finished. This is the first draft, and I'm currently working on the second draft, which is moving it from here onto the computer, which is practically rewriting it. I'm on chapter 3 right now, and this is a longer chapter, so it's been taking me a while. A little bit about this story. It is a fantasy romance novel. Fantasy with a subplot of romance, enemies to lovers. She is a noble girl. She's royalty, actually, but she runs away from home right before she turns into an adult so she can get away from her tyrant of a mother. But before she can get out of the continent, she runs into the biggest criminal organization in the kingdom, and they notice she's noble and they kidnap her. They can tell obviously that she's noble, but they don't know that she's royal. Since she wasn't an adult, her face hasn't been put out there, exposed to anyone. They don't do what she expected them to do. They offer her a place to stay, safety, protection, as long as she joins them. And although she doesn't want to because she's royalty, and this group literally hates everything her bloodline stands for, so if they knew she was royalty, they would kill her, and she just doesn't want to risk it. But it's too late. By the time she'd be able to get out of the building, their base, and get to the docks, the guards would have her poster, would have her wanted poster, and she would be dragged right back to where she started. So she has to keep up the lie and stay with them. And as she gets closer to these people, it becomes harder to keep her secret, especially so as they start uncovering other secrets that may be leading right back to hers. It's like found family, enemies to lovers, lots of secrets, lots of mysteries, monsters, of course, battles, fights, action. But this novel was actually the first one I ever finished, and it was a complete disaster. Like, I think halfway through this novel, I changed a major plot point. And then towards the end, I change it back. So there's just a big chunk in this novel that is very different from the rest. So it's going to be a task to rewrite this, which is why I've put it off for like a year and a half to 2 years, because I knew this was going to be a lot. I think there's 17 chapters in this book, so chapter 3 out of 17. We're just gonna kind of see how much I can write. I did also accidentally forget to start this video. It's Thursday. I haven't recorded anything for this, so. All right, I'll probably leave it off at that for today. I got about like a little over 1,000 words in. Still on chapter 3, because chapter 3 is a big chapter. Current word count being 8,344. I got like maybe 4 pages of the notebook onto here. So we're slowly making progress. You can kind of see how far I am into that. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna show you a bit more of how I actually do this, because like I said, this is the first draft and I'm moving everything onto here for the second draft, but I'm not just like rewriting it. Well, I'm not just like copy and pasting it. I am revising it as I write. That's why this is draft 2. This draft I wrote entirely in third person and then decided I don't want it in third person. So I am changing the tense as I go, and it's really annoying, or the point of view as I go. Kind of see the pink is the edits. This one has it, this one doesn't. And if I find a piece that's like, I word that differently, edit that differently, I write it in there as well. So I do the edits in here first and then transfer it onto here. I usually go page by page, so I'm not mixing up where I am and getting confused. All right, I'm gonna end it off at that for today because I'm tired and this is bright and kind of hard to look at. So total word count now being 9,247. Still on chapter 3. I actually looked to see how much longer was in chapter 3. Chapter 3 is so long. Like, there's a good chunk still left in it. So I'm gonna have a lot of work to do. Tomorrow's D&D, but it's not supposed to go as late. Okay, I'm back again, writing a bit more. This is after my D&D session, so I'm not gonna have as much energy to write as I did the last few sessions. So I'm just gonna get like a page or 2 done, just to write a little bit, because I'm actually really tired right now. But I'll hopefully be back to write again tomorrow. Okay, I actually wrote so little, but I'm just too tired for this. Something I did notice, because I edited a bit more of this, I brought the notebook to work today, and I was able to edit some of it at work. Something I did notice was that even the beginning chapters of this, it was my first novel, so I definitely knew I was gonna have a lot of work to do, but what I noticed right away was that not enough time passed. Like, Adele, my main character, she gets to this organization, and then her first full day at night, they're bringing her here. I just think for them to show her what they're showing her, there's not enough trust there. They haven't bonded. They have no reason to feel she is safe enough to do this. I think a few days need to pass before they bring her there, and whether I just like mention that in passing that a few days go by, or I add a few more scenes in, it could be either, to be honest. I think they do need to be closer than they are currently before any of this happens. So that's a pretty big edit, so I'm gonna leave it for now, and I'm gonna finish the actual novel, have it all written out, and then when I print draft 2, which is how I like to do it, I like to do everything physically, I will go in and write specifically where I want these, like where I want it to be brought up. Whether I want another scene, I can add that in, just be like, hey, add a scene kind of describing this here, or be like, mention here that a few days has passed and that she's been here for a little bit. Because this is all happening way too fast. They met the day prior, and when they met, all they did was exchange names and went on their way. The second day, or this first full day, she's been stuck in a room training with this other guy that's not even here. So they don't know each other enough, and it's the whole thing. A very big theme in this novel is trust. Issues being able to know who you can trust and who you can't, because there's a lot of secrets going on here. So I am aware of that. that I'm going to need to do a lot of work on this. Like, oh my god. All right, so I'm back. I only have a little bit to write, but we're kind of just gonna see how this goes. Yeah, so I know there's a lot of edits to do, but I'm just gonna get the basics, get the first draft done so that the general plot points are the same, and then I'll go in and do all the details in draft 3, which I know is going to be a lot, but I can stick with it. I can do this. So we'll just see how much I can write. I have plans in a little bit, so not too much will be done, but hopefully some. Okay, I forgot to do this, but I'm actually crocheting now. Isn't it pretty? Anyways, I did write a good amount. I'm just waiting for my friend to come back in. Got about 10,000 words done. I have about a page and a half left in the notebook of chapter 3. So that'll be like a couple hundred words, maybe 500. And then chapter 3 is done. Chapter 3 was a very long chapter, but I think I'm just gonna have to get used to it because there's 17 chapters in this whole novel. And most of the chapters are all very long chapters. It's just, that was different from my cozy fantasy. My cozy fantasy was short chapters, so this feels like it's going on forever. Anyways, I think that's it for this video. Next week, probably still the same. So I hope you stars enjoyed, and I'll see you all next week. Bye bye.